I think he has a phenomenal brain. He has an enthusiasm for this genre that is unmatched. The first time I heard him talk about the film we're about to show you footage from, Pacific Rim, he lit up. Trust me, you have no idea what you're about to see. Guillermo has, I feel, never been taken completely off the leash. Warner Brothers gave him all the room to play this time, and when you guys see what he has pulled off, I am so excited, so privileged, so happy to introduce Guillermo Del Toro. Hi. Are you ready to melt some brains?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Please tell them what they're about to see, sir.
Well, did some of you see the Comic-Con trailer? Did some of you see the trailer that was online? Did some of you see the Sweden trailer? Which is a masterpiece. Well, I was so inspired by that I decided to make another fucking trailer. Let's see them sweet this one out. But, you know, what you're gonna see, the movie is now 85% complete in VFX. We are mixing, we are doing the music and so forth. It'll be ready very, very soon. And you're gonna see basically the trailer that has been done for this event only. And one more event in Vegas, and that's it. Nobody will see this again. So this trailer is for you. You're gonna see a couple of images that look more grainy and sort of with a distortion for TV. They are documentary images from a prologue in the movie. The rest is the movie, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up and show it. Enjoy the trailer.
Yeah, that works. Wow. Guillermo, let's talk a little bit about just the shoot of this thing, the physical sets you built for the insides of the Jaegers, for the environments that you were in. You know, I know people are used to thinking of everything as being green screen today, but you built so much to do this, and it was such a physical, location-based shoot.
Yeah.
Talk about pulling off the scale of this thing.
Well, we knew that, I mean, in a movie like this, the thing you want to convey to an audience is a sense of awe and scale. With these things, 25-story high motherfuckers kicking each other's ass. You know, and basically, we knew that we occupied every stage, and including the largest stage in North America in the Toronto Pinewood Studios, and then we spilled over other sets that we couldn't fit. We built several blocks of Hong Kong to destroy, and then we destroyed them. And then we built, for example, the head of the robot, which with the machine, the hydraulics, everything in it was about 4 stories high. And then we shook that set. Every time the actors, the monster would hit it, the whole set would rock one side or the other, front and backwards, which made the actors very, very happy. You know, because I insisted that we would do it with the real actors, not stunts. And we would do it with the physical machines that control the robot attached to them and not a digital machine. So they have basically an incredible apparatus behind them that they had to carry that was the size of a VW Beetle. You know, and they had to move it. And at the end of the day, they were exhausted and they were destroyed physically. And I was sipping my 4th cappuccino. Extremely hard on everyone. The only one that didn't break, all the guys would come in and they would look at, for example, Charlie or Idris would come in and look at Rob Kaczynski and Max, and they go, oh, they're so crybabies. And then they would be there and they would be, please take us off. And the only one that never broke was Rinko Kikuchi, the girl. She never That's why guys never give birth. We are crybabies. We would be extinct as a species. No, fuck that! But Rinka never broke. Rinka was completely, I said, Rinka, what's your secret? And she said, I think of gummy bears and flowers. Which I try to do in my life now. But then we built, for example, 1 foot of the Jaeger was easily the size of this room, so we built 1 foot. We built pieces of the robots, and we filled every single stage with physical build.
And what I don't think you've had a chance to really impress upon people yet is how rich the world is. Like, I love what Ron Perlman plays in the movie. Yeah. I think that the idea of exploring how society would change around these kaiju beyond just giant monsters step on people, and that's obviously terrible. Yeah. But you've really gone into the reaction of society itself, which I think, how much of that was in what you first read from Travis, how much was stuff you guys layered in as you worked together?
We co-wrote the screenplay through the course of 1 year, so we layered a lot of that stuff, but I like to layer it in visually. I like to show it rather than to talk about it, so we would have rationing. We were very inspired by the visuals of World War II, like nose art in a bomber plane. We would do a lot of decay, and the places look rusty and used and oxidized, and we would do layer in, for example, kaiju warning signs, kaiju refuge signs. Pam, when he sees a kaiju part, he goes in mint condition. He's like a collector, and I wanted him to be that quirky as a scientist and not be a straight guy on that. And but he came in and he said, Can I play my character straight and the comedy come out from the situation? And I said, absolutely. And he played it. He has a monologue that is 2.5 or 3 pages long that he delivers, and is fantastic. And he played it straight, but straight for Charlie Day, it's still funny.
Well, let's go ahead and take a few questions from you guys. Not sure where we're beginning with that. Great. Okay, right back here.
Hi, I'm Mike. With Charlie Hunnam's character, it shows that there's somebody with him. I mean, you used 2 people for the robot, and you talked about in San Diego that it was 1 person. So my question is Charlie's character, does his partner dies, or you have
no, every single robot is driven by 2 pilots. One controls the right hemisphere and the other one the left hemisphere, because the neural overload from controlling a machine that size would fry the nervous system of a single driver, a single pilot. So they use what it's called 2 robot jockeys. They really share the neural load controlling the robot, and they link through memories. So if they're good at fighting, both in the same style, then they are linked by a neural bridge that fuses them with the robot. So they are controlling 1 robot, 2 pilots. And every robot is like that. The Russian robot, the Chinese robot, all of them. The Chinese robot is 3 pilots. It's a triplet.
Now, Guillermo, how many total Jaegers and how many giant monsters did you actually design for the film?
We designed a lot, and then every week we would do an American Idol. And we would hold them out, the boys. And it was really great, because every week those that survived were refined further, and then the next week they would go back again, and then we played with them, like say this guy represents this country, this guy represents the other, and then we would polish them to adapt them to that country and make it perfect. And in total we designed about 12 kaijus, 12 monsters, and about 9 robots that are in the movie active to some degree. And you have to remind, most movies, you have to solve the robot or the monster. But in this movie, we have to resolve all of this for a single movie. And each of those, we needed to figure out from the inside where the nuclear reactor was, if they were digital and solar powered or electric, and if they were nuclear, they were from an earlier generation, and where would the reactor be located, the pilots, you know, every style of fighting. Like if you watch the Russian robot in the poster, he has a set of incredibly powerful hydraulic presses on the fist, for when he hits, those presses push the fist. So we would need to figure out where would they retract and try to cheat as little as possible. It was a big endeavor.
I thought it was really interesting that you said you intentionally did not use any motion capture or performance capture, that you wanted your animation. You wanted the animators to figure out how these things move.
Yeah, because I think motion capture is great for a certain size, but these things are basically a 25-story high building walking around. You know, the weight, and I know something about weight myself, you know, the weight makes things move differently, because my wife will tell you. It really has a different motion, and these things needed to move really slowly. You needed to see the compression on the hydraulics. You needed to really feel the size of these things, and over again, I've seen this movie so many times, and I tell you this, every time I see it, I still have a shit-eating grin when I'm like, I'm just like, absolutely in heaven.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Adon Castillo. My question is concerning your next project. I'm speaking, of course, of Justice League Dark, aka Dark Universe.
Yeah.
My question is, how are you planning on covering all the different origin stories to all these wonderful characters like Swamp Thing and Deadman? And if you can give us any production updates whatsoever, that'd be...
Yeah, that is, the next movie I'm shooting is probably Crimson Peak, which is a ghost story, Victorian, sort of turn of the century actually, ghost story, straight hardcore. But we, on Justice League Dark, as you say, or Dark Universe, what we're doing is, I finished the Bible, and then we're gonna start the screenplay with a writer that I hope we can announce very soon. But that, what I'm doing is, I'm starting the lead character that guides us through that. It's Constantine. So it's Constantine, blonde. He's basically trying to recruit these guys. I'm using, for example, on Etrigan, I'm using sort of the Forever Knights. You know, I'm using the idea of Jason Blood being part of the Knights of at the time of Merlin. You know, we get to their origin through the story. We don't make the origin story at the top. We find it out as they each have a mystery to solve. You know, obviously Alec Holland is the one, Swamp Thing is at peace with who he is, but Deadman still needs to find out who shot him. So, you know, these things are woven in, but since I was a kid, my two favorite characters of the entire DC universe were Etrigan and Swamp Thing. So I'm in heaven with that, you know, and God willing it will happen. Not gonna play with it.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Guillermo. My question is, I read that you fought with the studio in the past to have Ron Perlman as Hellboy, and I wanted to ask if you can recommend any advice on negotiating with studios, you know, to let them use your ideas for your films rather than the ideas that they want you to give.
Well, I think that the buck stops with you. So at the end of the day, you cannot cry and say, they made me do it. It's a lie. Whatever screw-ups are in a movie, and I'm saying screw-ups because I saw a kid. I apologize for my earlier faults. Get behind me. So, whatever mistakes you make, you know, they're your fault as a director. I think that you can always, it's better not to make a movie than to make the wrong movie for the wrong reasons, you know? So that's all you have. You have one weapon and you can use it only one, and then get the hell out of it, you know? And don't do it. And what you do is try to join forces with a studio that is making the same movie you're doing. You know, my worst experience was Mimic because unbeknownst to me, they wanted Alien, and I wanted Mimic. I wanted giant bugs and they wanted Alien. You know, and there was really no way to reconcile those things. But now, for example, the most amazing experience I've ever had making a movie, the most harmonious, free, absolutely creatively free experience I've ever had is making Pacific Rim for Legendary and Warner. It was amazing. And the only thing you need to remember is if you go into these negotiations, anyone, independent film or studio, the best, the most incredibly powerful word there is in the English language is no. And later, cover your ears, kid, is fuck no. Those are very important for you to remember. And you can never allow something to happen that you think is gonna kill what you're trying to do. You know, so any movie that you don't like that I've done, my fault. You know, there's no other way to say it.
I think we have time for one more. We gotta get Captain America up to the mic there.
Hello. We're very excited for this movie. Can't wait to see it. My
Captain
son-
America, do not talk like the Mexican man.
Captain America had a question. I think he's a little too shy to ask, though. Are you sure? You want me to ask it? He'd like to know where you got the idea for this story, robots versus aliens.
I channeled my inner Captain America. Travis Beecham, who came to Legendary and sold them a pitch that was a few pages long, and basically said, this is the universe with giant robots, giant monsters, and they sent it to, my agent sent me an email saying there's this pitch called Pacific Rim, the one line, and normally when it's not something I write, they send the message reference is pass with a question mark, and I said, no, get me a meeting immediately. And I went and I met with them, and I started pitching them ideas, 2 pilots and this and that, and I started pitching them the craziest stuff, you know, and I found out they were making the same movie I was wanting to make. So Captain America, if you want to see the biggest things beating the crap out of each other, you'll be
Thank
very
you for
happy.
saying crap.
The poop.
Yes.
The poop out of each other.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Let me ask, Captain America, do you want to see that footage again?
You want to see that?
Do you want to see it again, Guillermo?
Let's show it one more time for Captain America.